It was almost 6 p.m. The city streets were quiet, shadows stretching long as the sun dipped low. She stepped out of the school building, adjusting her bag, her body tired from a long day. Every step toward home felt like a breath of relief. She liked walking this road, it gave her time to think. She was just 27, but already a respected teacher. That dream? It started when she was a kid. Her father believed in her when no one else did. He'd tell her, "You're meant for more." He was gone now, lost to an illness too fast for doctors to fix. That pain had pushed her, not broken her. As she walked, she spotted something strange. A small figure by the sidewalk. She stopped, moved closer. It was a boy barely 6. Face pale, arms hugging his stomach. He looked like he hadn't eaten in days. She ran over, shook him gently. "Hey, little guy, can you hear me?" The boy opened his eyes for a second. "So hungry, sister," he whispered. Then everything went dark again. She didn't hesitate, threw her bag off, carried him across the street. He was light, too light. At the shop, she grabbed water, wiped his face, ordered food fast. Slowly, he came back to life, thanking her between every bite. He didn't remember much, just his father's name. Nothing else made sense. It was already dark. She couldn't leave him alone, so she took him home. There, she bathed him, made warm snacks, tried to talk. The kid missed his dad. She saw it in his eyes. She tucked him into the couch that night, sang softly, watched him drift off to sleep. Morning came fast, too fast. She had to work. School couldn't wait. But what about him? No choice. She got up early, packed him breakfast, found clothes that fit okay, and walked him to school. Each step felt heavier. Her boss? Strict. No way this would fly. At the gate, she pulled him close. "You'll stay with me, all right?" She took him into the lounge, told him stories from her past, about her childhood dream. Then the bell rang. Class time. She couldn't leave him, couldn't risk him running off again. It wasn't allowed, bringing a kid like this without paperwork or payment. But she did it anyway. Her gut said it was right. The class? It went better than she expected. She made it fun, made him feel safe. And the other kids? Welcoming. He even smiled for the first time. But deep down, she knew this couldn't last. After class, she sat him down. "You can't stay here. We'll figure something out, I promise." The boy's eyes filled with tears. "I want to go home. My dad, he's looking for me." Back at the apartment, she tried to get answers. But he was too young to explain where he came from or how to find his father. She didn't push. Instead, she made him comfy on the sofa again. "We'll handle this tomorrow," she whispered. When he fell asleep, she sat by the window. Her mind raced. She had broken school rules. There'd be fallout. But she didn't regret it, not one bit. Helping him felt right. Morning hit hard. She'd barely slept. She scribbled a note for the boy, left snacks and the TV on, and rushed out. At school, she barely made it past the hallway before someone stopped her. "Hey, the supervisor wants to see you." Now, her heart dropped. Inside the office, the woman behind the desk didn't smile. "Sit," she obeyed. "I've heard something troubling," the woman began. "They say you brought a child to class. A child with no papers. No payment." She took a breath. "Yes, ma'am. He was lost. I found him alone and hungry. You weren't here, so I did what I thought was right." There was a long pause. The woman rubbed her forehead. "I know your heart's in the right place, but this puts the school at risk." She could feel it building in her chest, dread. A heavy, sinking feeling. She knew the woman was right, but leaving the boy behind? No, that wasn't an option. "I understand," she said quietly. "I did what I thought was right. I'll accept whatever comes." Silence stretched. Then the woman gave her the blow. "You're fired." The words landed like a punch. One of the school's best teachers gone. She stood slowly, her heart aching, and walked out without a word. Back at the apartment, the boy was still fast asleep on the couch. She let out a tired sigh and sank into a chair, flipping on the TV to calm her mind. That's when everything changed. A missing child alert popped onto the screen. Her eyes widened. There he was. His photo. His name. The boy everyone was searching for. Her hand trembled as she grabbed the remote. The news said his father was searching nonstop. A number flashed on screen. She didn't think twice. She picked up her phone and called. Hello, a man's voice answered, nervous, raw. Hi, this is Bree. I have the boy. He's safe. There was a pause. Then the voice broke, filled with a mix of hope and fear. Where's he? Can I see him? Yes. I'll send you the address, she replied. Just come calm. He's scared. She sent a photo of the boy peacefully sleeping, along with a message. He's safe. He's healthy. I'll be waiting. Every second after that felt like a full minute. She couldn't sit still. Then ding, ding, ding. Someone was hammering the doorbell. She opened the door. There he was, the father. But he wasn't alone. 2 officers stood beside him, faces sharp. Are you Bree? One asked. Yes, she answered, cold fear creeping in. We need to talk, the other said, pulling out handcuffs. What? Wait, she tried to speak, but the cuffs snapped around her wrists. I was helping him, she cried. He's here. He's safe. The officers said nothing. They stepped inside. Sir, can you show us the boy? One asked. The father nodded, tight-lipped. He led them to the living room. There he was, still curled up, still sleeping. The father dropped to his knees, brushing the boy's hair gently. He's okay, he whispered, voice cracking. The officers checked him. Calm breaths. No harm. One turned back to her. Miss, this might have been a misunderstanding. Please explain. She finally let out a breath. Then she told them everything from finding the boy in the park to bringing him to school, hoping to keep him safe, to losing her job for it. The father listened, slowly realizing this woman, she wasn't a threat. She'd been his son's lifeline. I thought he'd been kidnapped, he said. I was panicked, but it looks like she saved him. The officers nodded. We'll still need to confirm with the boy. Just then, he woke up blinking, confused. When he saw his dad, he ran straight into his arms. Daddy, Miss Bree helped me. I passed out from hunger and she gave me food, then took me to school. It was fun. The officers looked at each other. Then at the dad. Sir, it really does seem like she just helped your son. The man turned to her, eyes softening. I'm so sorry, he said. I was scared. I didn't know what happened. Thank you. Really? Bree gave a small smile, still shaken. It's okay. I get it. Any parent would have done the same. The officers nodded, but they weren't done yet. Miss Bree, we need a full picture. Can you walk us through it one more time? She nodded. I'm an elementary school teacher. Yesterday, he was just a kid. Alone. Starving. Collapsed right there on the street. She didn't think twice. She ran to him. Lifted his fainted body into her arms like he weighed nothing. Time was ticking. She had to get him somewhere safe. Fast. The cops sat there, listening. Notebooks open, pens ready. She told them everything. She had brought the boy Foso to her school. The school she taught at. Her own classroom. The supervisor wasn't around, so she broke the rules. She knew leaving him in the lounge was risky. What if he wandered off again? She couldn't take that chance. Eric looked at her, finally realizing what she had gone through. This wasn't just kindness. It was desperation. Survival. Protection. But she knew it wouldn't last. After that class, without enrollment forms, the boy couldn't stay. So she took him home, fed him, kept him safe, gave him comfort. The officer turned to the boy, now holding tightly onto his dad's arm. Is that true? Did Miss Bree help you? The kid didn't even blink. Yes, he whispered. She helped me. I was hungry. I was scared. She made it better. The man's eyes shifted, guilt crashing over him. His grip on his son tightened. She saved him, he said softly. I thought he was kidnapped. But she really saved him. One of the officers gave a nod. Looks like this is all cleared up. The handcuffs came off. She rubbed her wrists, finally free. Her eyes met his. I'm sorry, he said, voice breaking. I was scared. I assumed the worst. She gave a small, tired smile. Any father would have. But then he asked the question. What happened to you? After all that? She looked away, swallowed hard. I got fired for letting Foso sit in my class. Maria said I broke school rules. He went quiet. Then his jaw set. Eyes sharp. Tomorrow, he said, we fix this. The next morning, she woke up with a knot in her stomach. But also something else. Hope. They walked into the school together. Him, the boy, and her. Straight to Maria's office. Maria didn't even try to hide her irritation. I fired you. What are you doing here? Before she could answer, he stepped forward. She saved my son's life, when no one else would. Maria blinked. Who are you? He didn't flinch. Derek, son of Anthony, the owner of the school. The room froze. Even Bree couldn't hide her shock. Then he spoke again, calm but firm. She doesn't deserve to be fired. She made the right call. I won't let her be punished for that. Maria tried to keep her cool. There are protocols. There are emergencies, he snapped. I'll talk to my father. Not only should she be reinstated, she should be praised. Maria bit her lip. Silent now. She knew she couldn't win this one. I'll report it to Mr. Anthony, she said quietly. Outside, in the hallway, the tension returned. But it didn't last long. The man himself arrived, Anthony. Eyes sharp. Voice steady. What's going on? He asked. Derek stepped up. Explained everything. How she'd found the boy. Protected him. Got punished for it. Anthony turned to her. Tell me what happened. She did. Every word. No fear. No sugarcoating. He turned to Maria. Is this true? Maria stiffened. Yes, sir. But I followed the rules. Anthony took a breath, then dropped the hammer. Maria, rules matter. But so does judgment. You're relieved from your duties. He turned to Bree. You're the new school supervisor. She just stood there frozen. The words hanging in the air felt unreal. Sir, I don't even know what to say. Thank you, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. He gave her a calm smile, satisfied with the way things were unfolding. The older man placed a steady hand on her shoulder and said, just keep doing what you're doing. This school needs people like you. As the door closed behind them, something in her shifted. Hope. Real, burning hope. And beside her, he was smiling, not the charming kind, but soft, genuine. You deserve this, he said. And I'm here. Whenever you need me. Everything changed after that. The news spread fast. She was now the new school supervisor. The title got her attention, sure, but what truly changed her life wasn't the job. It was him. And the boy. He was always around now. They started meeting more officially for work. But soon those coffee chats became warmer. Longer. A moment here. A look there. And just like that, the walls between them started falling. He was sharp, fair. He didn't just admire her work, he saw her. Her strength, her quiet fire. And she, for the first time in forever, felt understood. Safe. She spoke about her father, how his memory pushed her to teach. He opened up too, about growing up under a man like Anthony. Their talks grew deeper. Personal. Real. The boy, though? He was just happy. His face lit up every time she visited. Whether she was helping with homework or just sitting with him at the park, he felt it, care. Love? Her presence filled the quiet corners of his world. One evening, while walking through the park, the boy grabbed her hand. Tiny fingers holding tight. He glanced up. Miss, will you come to dinner with us tonight? She looked over. A nod from the man. And that was it. Dinner was warm. Laughter echoing off the walls that once felt empty. The boy glowed. And the man, he couldn't hide it. His smile said it all. Later, while the boy doodled nearby, the two of them stood together in the kitchen. Thank you, he said. You've brought life back to this home. No, she replied, eyes soft. It's me who should thank you both. There was something unspoken between them. Not friendship. Not yet love. But something steady. Something real. Later that night, after tucking in the boy, he stood in the hallway. Lights dimmed. Heartful. He knew she wasn't just a guest in their lives anymore. She was the change. Day by day, that bond grew tighter. Laughter turned to rituals. Friendship leaned into something deeper. And one night, over dinner, he made up his mind. He waited until after the dishes were cleared. The boy was distracted, drawing again. They stepped onto the balcony, night breeze brushing past them. He took her hand. I need to say this, he began. Since you and the boy came into my life, I felt something I never had before. She didn't speak, just waited. You're my family, both of you, and I want that to be real. Will you be my girlfriend? Her eyes shimmered. She nodded, smiling through tears. I love you too. And yes, I'd love to. They embraced. Behind them, a little voice piped up. Does this mean we're really a family now? He scooped the boy up, spinning him through the air. Yes, we are. From that moment on, everything changed. The school, she shined brighter. Not just respected, admired. Not for titles or rules, but for her integrity. The kind of calm leadership that made others feel seen. The boy? He couldn't be happier. Their time together was full of warmth, learning, and small joys. She was a mother to him in all the ways that mattered. And that weekend, the three of them packed up a picnic. Just a sunny park, a blanket, and the feeling that maybe this wasn't just a story about healing. Maybe it was the start of a new kind of family. The afternoon was full of warmth. Laughter echoed through the small yard as the boy ran in circles, chasing bubbles. The man sat nearby, watching with a soft smile while the woman joined them, wrapping her arms around both. "You two are my whole world," she whispered. He kissed her gently. "And you are ours." Their days blended into a rhythm, simple, quiet, full of love. They faced small storms together, always holding on. The woman's job grew harder over time. As school supervisor, she had to deal with angry parents, jealous coworkers, and the kind of pressure that made others quit. But she didn't. She stood tall, calm, and clear, always ready to listen. Her choices were smart. People started to trust her not because she demanded it, but because she earned it. The man was her anchor. When she came home tired, he made her laugh. When she doubted herself, he reminded her of her strength. "You're amazing," he told her one evening. She looked at him, tears in her eyes. "I couldn't do this without you." Their bond grew deeper. The boy, now fully attached to her, flourished under their care. They weren't just a couple, they were a real family. And the man knew it was time. He picked a quiet little restaurant. One table, candlelight, and the perfect ring in his pocket. Over dinner, he held her hand. His voice was calm but full of feeling. "You and the boy brought light into my life. I want forever with you. Will you marry me?" Her eyes filled with tears. "Yes," she whispered, smiling wide. As he slid the ring on her finger, joy rushed through him like a wave. They held each other close while the world outside seemed to stand still. The boy was over the moon. "Can I carry the ring?" he asked the next day, flipping through a wedding catalog. The man grinned. "Of course. And she'll be the most beautiful bride ever." Planning wasn't easy. Decisions, stress, last-minute changes. But they handled it all together. "We'll make it through," he said, holding her hand. "Because we're in this as one." She smiled gently. "That's what really matters." The house buzzed with excitement. Friends and family gathered. The boy darted from room to room, too excited to sit still. On the big day, the man stood by the altar, nerves dancing in his chest. Then the music began. Heads turned. She walked in hand with the boy. The man's heart nearly stopped. She looked like a dream. The ceremony was quiet and real. The words were honest about love, struggle, and the promises that matter most. "Do you take her?" the officiant asked. "With all my heart I do," the man replied. "And do you take him?" "With all my heart," she said, voice trembling. The boy clutched the bouquet, beaming. They kissed, sealing their bond. Cheers erupted. Their first dance felt like floating. Everyone around them faded. In that moment, nothing else mattered. Just them. Together.